Hello from Safonovo. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss some skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about youth entrepreneurship and let's start with the definition.
It is even hard to pronounce. Youth entrepreneurship. Okay, this is policy of the state which tries to to ease the position of the people which are trying to open a new business, or while finishing the school, or while teaching in the university, or just after it. Those people sometimes has no clue how to do this. They has no assets, and they do not know tax policy, and they couldn't hire the place where their office could be located. They have no lawyers, bookkeepers, and so on. And this policy usually creates some kinds of incubators or technoparks, and in these areas people could share their knowledge, sit in small rooms which are paid by the government, and have some mentors which help to 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 continue a business and do not create huge mistakes.
And when, let's say, the government or maybe another big body trying to actually instill this policy, is there like any threshold or is there any like a ranking in order to, like onboard people? Because obviously all of the kids from the street might not be go there, but maybe, like it should be certain selection on the different criteria so that they know, okay, those people they onboard, they will create something meaningful or at least will provide more or less average results so that we can report back and saying that we do have a good youth entrepreneurship.
It depends, but usually yes, there is some kind of selection. So you should prepare a presentation and has a team, like two or three people, which will make pitch together with you, and you will be asked their questions. And it is not easy to pass this threshold and to get those money. And by the way, usually those money are not would be given by the cash, but they would be made like in payments. For example, you have already paid office for 6 months. You have, for example, like 20 hours of the lawyer, or you have like 1.5 hour monthly by a bookkeeper, and also a lot of brochures would be also given to help you understand something like business process and business projects. Some ideas couldn't be accepted. For example, dealing with tobacco or with alcohol or with medicine. So there are some list of the areas. For example, if you will make it in Kazan city, you will be invited to Innopolis, and this would be like innovation. That would be like something IT. Some areas, for example, if you will work in Vladivostok, it could be done like uh, environment friendly technologies, even saunas or banyas.
Well, and you also mentioned that, let's say, those people who actually managed to pass the threshold, they actually entered this incubator or any other institution. So what about the mentoring? Because at certain point of time, given that those people young, they also may have, they need like some financial knowledge, or maybe, like they lack certain skills, or maybe they need to have a certain capabilities. So are there any specifics for the mentorship when it comes to teaching the youngers?
Yes, there would be several rules. For example, you should be enlisted, then you should fulfill some task, and also you could be summoned to do some, I don't know how to say, society useful job. For example, if you, for example, bake some pastry, you will be asked to sell it by the social price to people who has no roof, or has too many children, or maybe no people to feed them. Or for example, if you make some kind of service, you also would be asked by the government to provide those for very small amount of money. For example, I know a friend of mine, son. He was trying to create a theater. I do not believe in this idea, and I was not supporting him and his father. But he found financial from the state, and now he obliged to make like 3 concerts each half of the year for price of 300 rubles, which is quite cheap for 100 people from a longevity club in Moscow.
And when I was in school, usually would have this thing called open classes, or the same like when I was a student. So usually it was like a dog and pony show, like everyone was dressed well, the teacher was, like speak slightly different. So whether this thing has something in common to that, because basically, okay, we take someone who's might be not that educated, might be providing so average results, burning some government money and taxes, and at the end, the result will be zero or maybe less. So again, depending on the country, depending on the program, whether there is any like a useness of this thing, or again, it just, like to maybe wash some money, or maybe, like mark some checks, or there's actually something good that might be burnt out of it.
Even to my employee, I sometimes give like one time per year 300 Russian rubles, 300,000 Russian rubles, just to try to make business. But under one condition, every would be agreed with me. Okay, they could do any kind of stupidity, but I would ask them to show what they do. I give those money just under these conditions, and each year several young people in my company, they just spoil those money, just spend it each time they try to do something very stupid. But anyway, we do some homework under their mistakes. So if they will next year come to me and approach and ask for the money, they will do another mistakes, and it's calm my heart.
And well, actually, you mentioned mistakes, and I wanted to go like through the top one, but maybe, we're trying to do it in a different way. Maybe we look into what might be possible directions. And I'm not talking about specifics, but like a general mindset that, let's say, young people could be pursuing. For example, their mind might be not that biased, and actually they, like could, like think, let's say, about the bubble gum that would make you fly or anything like this. So are there any good or interesting opportunities for those kind of folks to create something new or useful or just good for society?
It's funny to say, but those people do not know the world, and they all the time try to invent a new bike, a new bicycle. It's okay to say bicycle or bike?
Or invent a wheel?
Event wheel. And it's so sad. And I was trying to explain that this wouldn't work, that wouldn't go. They just offend and ask me, okay, do not interfere, just give money and take us alone. And each time I think, okay, this is quite rude, but maybe they should make some mistakes. When I was like 40 and I was working as a head of the bank, it was one situation when I wanted to fire some people, and my shareholder told me, each time when you want to fire something, please think how many times you was forgiven. Maybe this is also a chance to forgive someone. So just deal with youngsters, just deal with yappy and try to be patient.
And I think actually by answering those questions, we actually figure out why youth entrepreneurship could be a good thing for the world. So this is how the skill could be helpful for you. Then stay in peace.